We should be live. Have we got
Yes.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah? All good. Right, lovely. Hi, guys. Welcome to this week's episode of Crypto Waffle. It is episode 14. Today we will be discussing crypto bingo. We have our bingo predictions for 2025. We have a shallow dive into the newest SUI product and a brief market outlook, and a brief discussion of what David Sachs talked about last week when we were last on Crypto Waffle. So let's hit the ground running with our predictions first. Now,
Okay.
for full transparency, me and Carl have not discussed predictions with each other. We don't know who has what here. So,
Shall we do one prediction each? I'll do one, then you do one, then I'll do
yeah,
one, then you do one. Yeah.
yeah, go
Okay.
on.
All right. My first prediction, which is going to fly in the face of what we speak about later, but
Right,
but I predict that during this year, 2025,
yeah.
Sol will catch ETH and flip it.
What in market cap?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
right, okay.
Sol will flip ETH in market cap. That will mean that from where it is now, Sol will have to do a 3x
Yeah.
before ETH even moves. But I reckon Sol will probably do a 5x and ETH may struggle to double.
Ooh, okay. Right, my first one is we will get an IPO from either the likes of Kraken, Gemini, or Circle. Now, if I'm to pick one, I think from Circle.
Yes.
I think
Yes,
one of
that's a
them
good
is
one.
very likely to get an IPO from them this year.
That's a good one. Will they be overpriced when they launch?
Yes, they're going to
Absolutely.
do what every other thing does when it launches. You'll have a brief speak up, like it'll be towards the end of the bull run. You'll
Yeah.
have that spike up, all the hype. Oh, Bitcoin's going to a million. Then all of a sudden, bang! Like we'll throw up the Coinbase chart later, just as an example, because Coinbase was exactly the same when that IPO'd.
Shall we say from now, Circle releasing their own IPO is a top signal?
Yes, I'd put that in the bucket. I'd put Circle, Kraken, Gemini in the bucket, all of IPO top signals. Because to be honest, I think it's good that they actually do time it around the top when there's all the hype.
Yeah.
Because they need to get slapped with that 70% drawdown,
Yeah.
60% drawdown, because everyone thinks it's trash. And
Yeah.
then it just does the same old thing again, goes down, chopped, back out.
Comes back. Right. Just to explain to those who may not know, Circle is a massive provider of probably now currently the second biggest stablecoin by market cap,
Yeah.
known as USDC. When we say they're going to launch an IPO, what we're saying is that they will launch in TradFi. So they're going to have their own shares available on the NASDAQ. I guess it will
Yeah.
be the NASDAQ, won't it?
Well, that
So,
opens up opportunities for basically us and others to get access to crypto related stuff within TradFi world. So at the moment, you've got very small ones like MicroStrategy, Coinbase, you've got Bitcoin miners, stuff like that. So it just opens up more avenues for.
how big do you think the market cap of Circle could be? Would you?
Well, I mean, Tether, their last report they did, was it 200? Was it six? I want to say it was 200 billion in a quarter.
Yeah, but that was just according to them, though, isn't it? Because they're still private.
Yeah, but they've only got 200 employees. The only people to beat them were American Express, Citibank, and some others, but there's like
Do you
300,000
know
employees.
that they have said that these stable coins are printed money
Yeah,
because they make money on the float between the two,
yeah.
and
I mean,
as well
I
as holding
think
an asset.
Circle would probably be bigger. It's definitely got to be bigger than Coinbase, I would have said. And
Okay.
that's 75 billion. So I'm going to put it around about the 250 for say.
Massive.
Yeah, it's big. I mean, you think about it, but what's the Fed if it's a stock?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
going to be the biggest
Okay.
one of them all, isn't it? So
Yeah.
if Tether was there, obviously they'd be the biggest, but Circle could definitely be, well, I think market cap wise, be the biggest TradFi asset in crypto world.
Yeah. Especially because of how much money they are able to make. They
Yeah.
don't have much competition at all.
No.
All right, I'll go for my second one.
Yeah.
This one is. I'm going to reel it in a bit, right? I'm going to be a little bit more realistic.
Sensible.
I'm going to say, I'm going to say 700,000. There will be a $700,000 NFT this year, and it will be a CryptoPunk.
I'll tell you what, I've got a very similar one, but it's my last. Actually, second to last, so I'll save that.
So, CryptoPunks are NFTs. They are the most expensive. They are the biggest blue chip NFT. I think when we go to silly season, I think the ultimate flex will be buying the most expensive thing. Look how much money I've made. Ain't I great? And that thing will be a CryptoPunk. I think the other rival NFT would be
Bored
Pudgy
Apes.
Penguin. I'd say Pudgy Penguin's over Bored Apes now.
I think Bored Apes will come back, but it's not on. It's not one of my bingo cards. But I think Bored Apes, UV
But
Lab,
they now have to catch Pudgies,
yeah,
which
it's a
I
must.
think will be a problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think we'll get a nice big. I did say $1 million.
Well, haven't we seen a $1 million punk before?
We just weren't that big last cycle. We didn't
I
get
thought we
there.
saw multiple $1 million punks.
No, we saw multiple $1 million NFTs, but they weren't punks.
I
So
swear someone bought a punk for like 64 million or something.
no, I think it was a Beeple NFT. Let's
Let me have a
see.
look through.
We'll do a quick research. $1 million crypto.
Yeah, 23.7 million in February 2022. An alien variant of the CryptoPunk collection sold for 23
What?
mil. That's what I've got.
Yeah. People were buying them. $16 million CryptoPunk.
I think they were just a bit under the radar,
Okay, well,
if I'm honest.
well, that throws my one. That throws my second one out the window. Then I didn't think. I thought they were like 100 grand.
No,
Okay,
they're
no. All right, no. Let me change it. Floor price. Let me change
right,
it.
floor
Floor
price,
price.
yeah.
Yeah, let me change it because of course you can spend whatever you want on
Yeah, what is the
one.
current floor price? Because I'm pretty sure I told you
Yeah,
they didn't have one on OpenSea. Because they don't
yeah.
get
Let me
traded.
change it. What I meant to say was floor price. Yeah.
They don't
Let's
get
see.
traded at all.
Uh, oh no, hold on. It'll be on CoinGecko, won't
For,
it? If I go to
people
NFT.
are wondering what a CryptoPunk is, I will quickly share my screen and show you. And you will all be going, "What the hell? Someone paid 23 million for that?"
Floor price is
And it was
currently 100
this.
grand.
It was this punk here. This
Yeah.
alien looking thing was the punk that sold for 23 odd million. Uh, these are profile pictures. Effectively, they're a status symbol. It's like people having a fancy car or whatever. So,
It's a bit worse than a fancy car because at least a fancy car will get you from A to
well, yeah,
B.
true. It's actually yeah. Didn't even think of that.
These literally do nothing
Think
for
of it as
you.
the Mona Lisa of the crypto world.
Yeah.
That's probably a
Yes.
better way of putting it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So
Right.
yeah, I will predict that the floor price will go up to. I'm
Okay.
gonna say let me say 500,000. Let me be realistic because
Yeah.
I sometimes I get carried away.
I think that could be. I think that's probably easily done.
Yeah.
Um, my second one's exactly not too far out there. Quite conservative. Bitcoin to hit 150k. I
I've
think it's
I've I've got one like that, but mine's a bit more wild.
right. Okay. Well, mine's quite conservative.
Yeah,
Um,
because that's obviously going to happen.
well,
That's an easy one.
the consensus is.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
If it doesn't happen, we're in trouble.
yeah. So, what's your number three?
Uh, Bitcoin strategic reserve this
What
year.
US based
Yeah,
or
US based. We get over
okay? Yeah, I see that
we
happening.
get over the line, and it actually happens. They don't just talk about it and arrange committees. I think
Yeah.
they actually build one and they say this is what we're going to put in it, and they put something in it. I think they do it within this year.
Yeah. My number three is meme coins market cap. So all the meme coins, all of them together, to be worth more than 200 billion. We're currently sat at 80. So
Yeah,
I think that's definitely doable.
yeah, 3x. Yeah, yeah, it's conservative. I'll go for that. Okay, I've got. This is my fourth one.
Yeah.
Someone will be convicted for insider trading from one of the top 10 exchanges. So
Okay.
either a Coinbase or a Kraken or a KuCoin,
Yeah.
somewhere like that. Someone's going to get arrested
I
and
can see that happening.
yeah, maybe not convicted because it might not happen in a year, but someone's going to get arrested and someone will finally get done for doing this, releasing these new tokens and dumping on people's heads. I think
Yeah.
someone will get caught.
So my number 4 goes against, I think, your number 1, which was the sold to flip ETH. Is that right? Is ETH to 8,000.
Yeah, it does.
So I think ETH will tag or get near that $8,000 mark.
We must discuss exactly why we are suddenly bullish on ETH
Yes.
after we've done these. We
Yeah.
must discuss that. Okay, my fifth one.
Yeah.
Get this one out of the way. Bitcoin 200k this year.
Yeah, I think it's doable.
Double from where we are now.
I
Once we
think
hit silly season,
if you get that strategic reserve as well,
yeah. If I get the strategic reserve,
yeah,
we definitely fly
yeah.
past
I
200.
mean, you would suspect it does. If it doesn't, it's blatant. Well, in my eyes, it'd be because of blatant manipulation.
I don't see how anyone can manipulate it at that point because the
Yeah,
whole world will want a piece unless they agree, and
yeah,
everyone's got a couple of quid. So
yeah. We'll be on 5.
no,
Yeah.
four. You're fourth, and then I've got one more.
What's that? I did Cycle IPO, Bitcoin 150k, memes. I did ETH. No, we're on 5.
Okay,
My fifth one, a Dogecoin ETF to be approved.
that's so much like my sixth one.
We are getting a Doge ETF for the people
This
like.
year,
Yes, this year.
the first meme coin ETF.
Yeah, I think we
That'll
get
be.
it.
I think that'll be a bigger deal than the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs.
Yes and no, because the TradFi players, the only meme they'll touch is Doge, and I get that. Like, even normies that will have access to it via their accounts or whatever, the only one they'll touch is probably Doge. Because as soon as you mention meme coins to them, they're like, "Whoa, I'm not investing in that. It's gambling." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Now, if you've got one that's sat at what is it? What is Doge at now? It's currently just shy of 38 billion. I mean, it's bigger than a lot of companies, and it's
Yeah.
basically a dog on a coin. So I think if they're going to step out the risk curve like we normally see people do, I think that is a perfect opportunity for that to capture some market share.
It will be the first time there's an ETF crypto related with something that doesn't have a use case at all.
Yeah, there's
It'll be
no,
the,
they can't run their special analysis
no.
trend things on. It's not like I can call them up down at the local thing and go, right, oh, this has this, this, and this. It earns this per month and that. Hello, mate. Doji's out. It's a dog on a coin. Do you want some? Like, that's it.
Someone says why, you say yeah because of vibes. That's
Yeah,
why.
there's not much you can say.
Yeah, yeah. So that one will be interesting.
Yeah.
My one is a little bit more conservative. I've gone safer for
Okay.
my last
What is
scratch
it?
card. ETF Solana.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's done. I think
That
that'll be.
one's pretty much done, isn't it? So I
I mean, it'd
thought
be hilarious if the Doge one come out before the Solana.
I'd be upset. XRP might beat
Yeah,
Solana to
XRP
it.
might get one. Well, that was another one I was going to put on the potential IPO list because Brad Garlinghouse has talked about that for a while.
Yeah,
So it wouldn't surprise me if they did.
yeah.
My final one. So this was very similar to the NFT one. For the NFT market cap to exceed 160 billion. So for reference, we are currently sat at $70 billion.
What to double from here?
Yeah, I think
Easy.
that's doable.
Yeah.
Even though everyone thinks NFTs are dead water, it's just 70 billion that's floating around ready to go to zero. I don't think people still understand it.
Yeah.
I don't think they ever will until they are using them without knowing.
I think with real world assets, if we're going to class real world assets, and with Ondo doing as well as it is, or any other project, if we get one winning project that's a real world asset, I think we fly past that because those will all be NFTs.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
I think even if we don't include real world assets, I think once the bull market kicks off and people have got a bit of money to show off with, it's the first thing they do is buy NFTs. What else can you do? How else can you show off the money that you've made?
Yeah,
And you're not going to spend it because who does
yeah, a
that?
lot. Yeah, it's always the way, isn't it? Everyone just comes into NFTs and starts playing paying stupid money for it.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Okay. So, all right. Out of your six, there wasn't one that I couldn't really disagree with.
no,
I
I
think we
think to
both.
be fair, all of yours I think are definitely doable. The only one I would go against is the Soul to Flip E.
Yeah, that one was a bit crazy.
That's
I, I,
the
try,
only one.
I tried to have some that were a bit. I tried to be a bit edgy, so I tried to have some
Yeah,
that were a bit out there. So that one, also the crypto punk one,
yeah,
floor price, I should have
yeah.
said, I thought was a bit crazy, and yeah, I don't know if Sol really flips ETH,
What's the
but
current floor on the punts? Did you say it's
100k.
right? Okay,
But
that's not
that's with NFTs being dead. So
yeah, or supposedly dead.
supposedly dead.
Yeah.
Can we get a 5x on a
There's
on a
a
dead
for
asset?
anyone wondering, if you just type in on Google total crypto market cap of NFTs, the Forbes website actually has a really nice list and chart of it all. So if you want to look at that, be sure to go and have a look at it. Also, if you want to look at the meme coin total market cap, CoinGecko's got a good one for that.
Yeah, I use
Right.
Gecko. Ethereum. I need to know with if you can throw up a chart or something like that. You sent me. Oh, did you
Right.
send me one? I think you sent me one
Yeah,
the
I
last
sent
few
you
days.
two. Let me just see if I can find them. So I'm not sure I bookmarked them. Uh,
Bored
yeah,
Ape.
they're here.
Bored Ape are still bigger than Pudgy Penguins at the moment. Actually, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. This is why I think ETH will survive the flip from Sol. There has now been recorded the biggest ever Ethereum short positions ever in the history. So ETH shorts are at all-time high, whilst investors pile in 500 million ETFs over the last week. So
Uh,
we've got this battle going on at the minute between ETF land, where TradFi are pushing it out, which I believe is this chart here. Yeah, and a spot ETF net inflow, which is at probably looks like the second highest peak ever, apart from wherever that is. It looks to be around Q4 24 in there, somewhere like that.
mhm.
So big money coming in from TradFi space. Uh, Meanwhile, we have a load of people short ETH. So I don't think that's going to end up very well for the people that are short.
Not only are they short, but there are a long way. There's the far more shorts than there's ever been. Loads, and on top of that, from a fundamentals point of view, the Ethereum guys are all bickering amongst themselves.
So it's a perfect sentiment bottom for me.
Perfect, absolutely perfect. You've got Vitalik, who is the leader of Ethereum. He's this cult-like figure, really tall, slim guy. It's a bit crazy.
Alien looking fella.
Yeah, he's a really unique person, and he's started to have Kanye West like rants, or maybe not quite as
Not to that
offensive.
extreme, I would say.
Yeah, like but Kanye light. So
Yeah,
he's having those sorts of rants on Twitter now, where people are really starting to get on his nerves. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, you guys shouldn't be selling the token. You should
yeah,
be. I don't know what they should be doing with it if they're not using it." So all of that plus ETH has tremendously underperformed compared to Bitcoin and Solana.
yeah,
So they lost. I had even lost faith in ETH.
yeah,
But after having seen that chart that you sent me today, I am like, right, this is clearly the bottom, and we should be ready for the biggest short squeeze in the history of crypto. I think it will
yeah.
be.
Well, it would not surprise me if they get flushed out pretty quick.
It will
Uh,
be. It will rocket, won't it?
Well, and as we saw only last weekend or whenever it was, the time before that, um, there was like the biggest liquidation in history.
Hmm.
Again, we could have another one of them in 2025. To be fair,
Yeah.
that wouldn't be a bad bingo card to have a bigger liquidation than the one in Feb for 2025.
I guess it's what happens, isn't it? As the market gets bigger, the numbers
Yeah.
get bigger, the amount of participants gets bigger, the amount of fish, I guess you'd call them, poker terms, people who don't really know what they're doing, but
Did
they've
you,
got a couple of quid.
did you see that African meme coin they launched?
Yes,
Did you see that?
I saw it, but I only saw it
GDP.
going down. It was like
I saw a
Central.
mad tweet. So the GDP, I can't remember where it was in Africa they launched this one, but the GDP of this specific area was like $2 billion a year. The meme coin managed to get to like 600 million. A meme coin within 24 hours went to nearly a quarter of the GDP of the country. That is nuts.
Right. So, bearing in mind, Central African Republic has been at civil war for like I don't know a decade or something like that.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the most dangerous places on the planet. Right. It's now down because obviously it's going to be the most dangerous meme coin on the planet too. It's now
Yeah.
down 92% on the day.
Mental, innit?
So everyone piled in and everyone piled out.
What's the ticker? I'll throw a chart up for everyone.
CAR,
CAR.
Charlie Alpha Romeo.
That is crazy.
I
Now only
saw it this
60 million.
I saw it this morning and I thought you can't make a meme out. It's like making a meme out of Palestine. It's not. It shouldn't be memeable, but you know,
No,
I guess
it's
ignorance is
nuts, isn't
bliss.
it?
And then I
Right.
saw it was down like 50%.
So this is it. I saw it on Twitter. I didn't get in at all because I was like, what the hell is going on? But then, to be fair, it does not surprise me that a country or a state, is this a country or a
It's a
state?
country, yeah. It's a country.
Country has launched its own meme coin. Like, that does not surprise me. And for it to top out, if we put it onto the market cap chart here, at round, okay, I take that back. It topped out at 900 odd million. It was nearly half the GDP of the country in, when was that? At quarter past 10. Okay, in a matter of 4 hours, 3 hours, it
I
managed
don't,
to get to half of the GDP of the country.
I don't know how a country that is currently in the grips of civil war has its own meme coin. Who is in charge? who decided? They're still
Have
fighting
they
over it.
rugged? Are they what's caused this? Have they
But
rugged the
I wouldn't be
community?
surprised if we didn't have another one from the other group because I
Yeah,
guess there's two rival factions, one with a few people and backing and one without. If the other group come out and say, okay, we've got our own meme coin, how well does that one do? I don't
yeah.
know. Well, who?
Crazy, isn't it?
There's no way that this is actually released by the actual people. There's
Well,
no
I mean,
way.
I saw a tweet that apparently it was because they actually put out an official statement on their X. So, I mean, I don't know what to believe, but it did not surprise me when I saw this.
It's crazy, yeah, because it's in. I'm looking at the website now, and I'm seeing a little bit of French, which kind of adds to the lore it should be.
Yeah,
There is a video here. I'm scared to click it. Let me put it on mute. I just want to see if it's just want to see if it's AI related. My dear friends from all over the world, President of the Republic. Yeah, crikey.
it's nuts, isn't it? So, guys, do not be surprised if we see other countries launching memes.
So I wonder if they've rugged it and
Well,
you know, paid for a couple more
if you've managed to launch
folders.
a meme coin that's managed to get half to your GDP within 4 hours of a whole year of the country's trading, then
Rug it.
why wouldn't you?
Rug it.
Yeah, no, I mean, who's going to tell you no?
You've got to rug it.
Who's going to tell you no?
This is crazy because he's recorded this in front of a green screen. The importance of a strong community.
Nuts, isn't it?
Yeah, and to be fair, it's a Professor Faustin
But
Archange.
you fully know as well that all that capital hasn't even come from anywhere near Africa. So all they've done is just managed to drag a load of capital out of the US, Europe, and wherever around the world.
Yeah,
And then, like you say, if they're the ruggers, if they're what's caused this massive sell-off, then they've had one of the best trades they've ever done.
I guess it's unique. I guess it makes a change. I suppose
Yeah.
stuff going into Africa from Europe as well. I
Yeah.
suppose. Well, that's
So,
interesting.
what is this Sui newest product? Fill me in.
Sui Play.
Yes. What is it?
Let me share my screen. So, for those of you who are not aware, we often, or we have spoken previously about. Is it showing the whole thing? What's it
Yeah,
showing?
I can see Sui Play screen.
Oh, right, okay. So basically, Sui Play is a handheld gaming device on Sui. Now, here's the play. Before we spoke about the Solana phone, Solana released their first phone
I see where you're
called
going with this.
the Saga. The Saga phone, you buy the phone costs you $800, something like that, and you received over $800 in airdrops, so your phone was free and you made a little bit of money. They've now released a second phone called the Seeker phone, which I have already pre-ordered, and I've already got one airdrop.
How do you find out if you're eligible for that? Because obviously, old mine later than you.
Everybody is eligible. So if you've got
Okay.
the thing and you get the NFT, then when the airdrop takes place, if you have the NFT, you should get the airdrop. I don't believe there are snapshots, so I think whenever you order, you should still get all of the airdrops, but there may be snapshots that I'm not sure of.
Is there a talk of when that's to be delivered? Because obviously, I've only still got the order reference.
So this is the interesting thing, right? This is how you know it's super degen. Because even in the wildest world of Kickstarter and all that other nonsense, you would never have an item which costs $600
No.
and has absolutely no release date. Like, just give us your money and we'll
We'll
worry
get it
about
to you
shipping
at
it to
some
you.
point in the future.
Vibes. It literally is just vibes. So So with these handhelds, it'll probably be something a bit like a Steam Deck. There are a load of them popping up now, varying different levels of power as to what you can play. I would assume this one can play AAA games, and you know that they are aiming this at the DGen because there is a rewards tab. You have a look in the rewards tab, and it will show you some of the projects that are probably going to give you an airdrop. A few of these are games. Fud the Pug is a meme, but I guess there is no guarantee. They've just put their logo in, so there is no guarantee. So yeah, so this is something that
The play
I
is exactly to do what we've kind of done with the Solana Seeker phone.
yes
Buy
yes.
it, wait for it to be delivered, and then hopefully you open it up and you're eligible for various airdrops.
Well, with the airdrops will come to you probably before the actual item comes to you.
Yeah, so when you've got it, it's already there.
Once
Ready.
you've got it in your wallet, once you place the pre-order, what happens is that you get a soul-bound NFT minted. So it explains it here. With each Sui Play X1 order, you mint an eternal soul-bound NFT. So that means you can't trade this NFT. You can't send
Right.
it from your wallet. It has to stay in your wallet. And that is your key to qualifying for exclusive perks, experiences, and content. So basically, whichever wallet you send the payment from becomes the wallet that holds the NFTs and the airdrops. So
Yeah.
do not pay
Get
for
rid of
this,
that wallet.
or don't pay for it via an exchange.
Yeah.
So don't go to an exchange and pay for it, or don't go to some bridging service and be like, oh, I'll just bridge from Ethereum straight to Sui and pay for it that way. Don't do that, because then you won't get your NFT.
Get an official Sui wallet.
Yep, get an official Sui wallet. And I do think that Sui is now supported by Phantom, I
Yeah.
think.
And for anyone that doesn't know what an airdrop is, so basically a company, imagine Apple, right? Back in the day, everyone was buying Apple phones, iPods, or whatever. And when you bought that in that box, they gave you an extra 50 quid or whatever. They give you some shares of Apple, for example. You had a piece of paper that said you now own 0.2 of an Apple share of
Yeah.
whatever it is. So these companies are giving you their tokens in the crypto world, which you can do whatever you want with. You can go onto the open market and sell them. You can keep them. You could stake them. You can do whatever. So when we're saying the play is to buy one of these, you obviously then are in the hope that you then get airdropped more than you spent, because then you can sell the tokens on there and get all your money back and hopefully more. So that is kind of what this is.
Yes, that is, and that's I think a pretty good way to onboard people. So,
Yeah.
for example, I got a airdrop from some gambling company to do with the phone that I may never receive, don't care. But I got an airdrop from them, and it made me look into the project. So I looked into the
Right.
project and I was like, oh, this is a gambling project. Oh,
Would I have that as well?
you should do. Um,
What was it called?
I don't know, and I haven't got my wallet close to hand. But from let me think. Oh,
'Cause I
actually,
don't think I've received anything.
did you pre-order after I received my first airdrop? I'll tell you what mine was
Possibly.
called. That's the only reason why I think you wouldn't have got one when I did.
I think
Uh, Here we go. Block 900.
no, I haven't got any of that.
Well, it's down 50% from when I received the
I
airdrop.
ordered mine on 12th of January.
Oh, just the other day,
What?
like a month ago.
Thank you for your purchase. Oh yeah, it must have been a month ago. I thought I did it in last year. What?
Yeah, no, I got this airdrop before then. I'll tell you when I got the airdrop as well. Actually, I got the airdrop in December.
Yeah, that's
December the
probably why then.
December the 20th. Yeah. So
Mine was only recent.
yeah, you were slow off the mark, mate. So you missed that one.
Damn it.
I took $100 off the price of the phone. Well, $50 now because it's down 50%.
Oh
But
well.
who knows? I know free money. Can't
Can't complain.
complain. Can't complain. So I had this idea. I guess I'll quickly tell you about it. A project that I'm building at the moment called Cryptosi Vest. Let me actually quickly show it.
I actually watched your thing on this the other day on Instagram.
Sorry.
I watched your, I think it was about a 10-minute video on this the other day.
Oh yes, yeah. So there will be a video of it on my site. Oh, hold on. I have to stop sharing this. I have to stop sharing. I'm going to start sharing because it seems to only let me share one tab at a time.
So what is this? Do you want to explain to the viewers what
Right.
crypto
So this is one of these things that I build from within my DAO, and I have these great ideas, or someone in the DAO has these great ideas, and we go and we just build this stuff. So what this will do is it shields you against rug pulls. So in the meme world, there's a new meme coin. The developer's got 50% of the supply or whatever, and they're saying to you, I'm not going to rug you, I'm not going to sell, but you've got no way of knowing if they're going to sell or not. Now what this software does is it holds their tokens until their token reaches a certain price. So they might say to you, I'm not going to sell until the token reaches a $1 billion valuation and you lot are all rich. Then I'll sell. Then I can sell. Otherwise, I won't sell. That's obviously good for the users or whatever. But the reason why I'm bringing it up is twofold. Firstly, because with these airdrops that these companies are now giving, if they start to consider putting it into a platform like this, whereby the tokens are being held until the project's worth more, the people who are receiving the airdrop don't actually get access to their airdrop unless the project is successful, which kind of then employs them to spread the word about the project, to look into the project, to say, okay, I've received this airdrop, it's worth $100 now, but I can't possibly take this airdrop until it's worth $1,000. So let me see what this software is. If I like it, let me help campaign to make this a bigger project so that we can reach our target and I can collect my $1,000. It adds another element of game theory, I guess, to crypto, but I think it's something that might take off. Hopefully, obviously, amazing projects like this that I'm building, then yeah, it will do. But we shall see in the future. We
I
shall.
think
We
it's a good
shall.
idea.
Yeah.
Really good idea.
Yeah, I went for funding. I applied for grants because Because what I want to do is get grants from a lot of these different EVM networks. So this one won't actually work on Solana. This will only work, or Sui, it'll only work on EVM. So Base, Ethereum, BNB, Arbitrum, all of those. And I found out actually that Arbitrum are no longer planning to fund new projects. They've got a vote going for at the moment, and it's not passing. It's losing. that they're going to renew their grants program for another $6 million for this year, and it's not passing. So Arbitrum may not be funding any more development on their own chain, which would be a good reason to short it. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, obviously there was a lot of hype about Arbitrum when it come out, but since it's come out, I haven't really seen anything on it anywhere.
They've got a decent amount of TVL on there, so they're doing okay. I think there may be, as far as L1's concerned, they're still a top 10 L1, which is it's not easy to do. I'll tell you now, actually, I'm going to go to a site called DeFi Llama, which is where I always go to get my L1 information. I'll share it as well, actually. And the metric, which is, I guess, the king metric, is the TVL. So obviously you can see Ethereum, massive. There's little baby Solana, and there's all the others. Now, where is Arbitrum? Yeah, so there's Arbitrum in 7th place. Bridge TVL 11 billion. TVL's just under 3 billion.
Yeah.
So, which is not really a lot.
So do you want to explain what TVL means?
TVL is total value locked. So it means how much money is there actually on the chain. So all of the money that is in staking, liquidity providing, any other on-chain activities, things like that.
If a bank effectively was actually on-chain, you can see everything that they've got.
Yeah.
It's not fractional in the real world like it is.
Maybe it's a bit like... It's not quite like GDP, actually. It's not quite like GDP.
Basically, have an overview of a business, isn't it? Effectively, every little hole. What fingers they've got in pies, effectively, and what it's worth.
Yeah, I would liken it to the GDP of a country. I would liken it. It's clearly not technically that, so don't come for me in the comments. But I would liken it to that because what it is like the de facto stat that you would have for your L1 to say our L1 is bigger than yours because we've got more TVL.
Yeah.
Obviously, it can be gamed. You can just move your money there and not risk it. Or so it's not the greatest one. Between that and fees, I would say fees is another metric which shows how useful a chain is. I would say how much is being used, how much money are people prepared to spend to use a chain is the fees. Probably the most important metric across crypto, but not really spoken about.
Yeah.
So that's them. They are still decent.
Right. So I think that wraps up Sui Play. Anything else to add on it, or
no? We can move on. Move on.
So into macro. So the David Sachs. Last time we were on, we were saying that David Sachs has come in. We were quite hopeful that he might mention something to get us out of the hole that we were in at the time. It ended up being a complete nothing burger.
Yeah.
Didn't it? Literally nothing come out that was of any interest to anyone, and nothing happened. Effectively,
he further elaborated on his All In podcast.
Oh, did he? Okay, I haven't watched that yet.
Right, so he further elaborated on his All In podcast, and what he said was that the interesting thing about this committee that makes this one different to the others is that they've got the heads of all the other points that count. So they've got the head of the CFTC, I think it is.
Okay.
He's also there, or maybe not the head, but they've got somebody from the CFTC, somebody from here, somebody from there. So they've got somebody from everywhere, which means that if they do manage to eke out a plan for a strategic reserve, there won't be anybody who comes out from another important government and relevant government department that can come and say, well, I don't think this is a good idea, because they will all be in the room together. He said,
Right. Okay.
he said, based on that, he's expecting that they should be able to have something done within the next 6 months. And he kind of doubled down on that by kind of saying, like, well, 6 months might even be a long time. It probably even should be a lot quicker than that.
Yeah.
I think maybe if he'd have decided to say that at a press conference, we might not have been so disappointed. But what he did say also was that people were really just looking for something to trade on, and
Yeah. Which is very true. Everyone was.
yeah,
Even we
and
were
yeah,
effectively.
I literally was sitting there waiting to trade, and there was nothing to trade on. And he did say that we're not at trade on it stage, but that should be soon. So
Yeah, it was. Um, I have got some interesting charts to throw up as well. So obviously we talked about last week the global liquidity chart over Ethereum, and we thought, oh, we'd found, we've sussed it. We found another great chart to follow. Shortly after that ended, I found an even better chart. So that idea went out the window as well. So this, can you see this? This is a total crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin. So this is not just Ethereum, this is altcoins.
okay,
Now, interestingly, this area here, you can see, that was when the BlackRock ETF launched for Bitcoin. Now, when was the date that the ETH ETF got launched?
oh, I can't
Do you
remember.
remember? Because it was
No.
it was probably, I want to say, a couple months after the Bitcoin,
Yes.
something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Because I think BlackRock, if I remember correctly, was launched just in January or Feb, wasn't it?
Well, let me ask Gemini.
Early, and then ETH was a bit later. Because I want to say ETH got plugged in around the same time.
23rd of July.
Oh, okay, it was quite a way in. So here, so this was where the ETH ETF got plugged in. Bitcoin was down here, Ethereum was here. Now, since then, this chart, I would say, better lines up than if we were to put this bang over Ethereum here. So we should let that load up. I mean, that's still pretty close. It's not like you
Yeah.
can't say it isn't. But I believe it's a better lineup on this chart here. Now, this would obviously suggest, going forward, that we are still due a bit of a drawdown in alts. Now, how low do we go? I don't know. But a bit like the Bitcoin one, so when we first started following this, we were like, oh, this could bring Bitcoin down to blah, blah, blah. Bitcoin has stayed strong. Now, when we come into this macro end of cycle phase, the stuff that starts to, well, the stuff that was tracking liquidity seems to outperform it in chart wise. So, again, is kind of why Bitcoin hasn't seen this massive sell off as of yet. It's staying bid. I mean, obviously, we saw this big flush in ETH last week. So if I just quickly remove the liquidity chart, you can see here that big wick. Um, and you see the same sort of thing in the total crypto market cap. Now, the only reason why I think and touch wood here and say I think the bottom may be in, is that if you look at this on a monthly chart, we are bang up against monthly support here. So you can see this over here, you can see these prior wicks here, you can see this wick in here, and we're currently sitting on it. Now, the key is obviously we are only on the 10th of February, so we're still very early days. But the key is we would like to see this monthly candle close above the 1.2-ish trillion dollar mark. That is the key for total crypto market cap, excluding Bitcoin chart. That is what we want to see. Obviously, we're going to have some resistance in and around the 1.5 to 1.62, but this is key. So the other people that might be thinking, okay, what's he got this green box up here for and this line? What's all of that? There's a potential, I believe, cup and a handle pattern here. So you can see this cup and handle. Okay? It's called that because it looks like a cup and a handle. Now, this cup and handle pattern, to measure your target, you take the bottom of the cup, so around there, and you draw it to the top of the cup, around there. You then drag that to where you broke out, and it gives you a target, a predicted target of where this pattern goes. Does it play out? Now, this would be invalidated. This would not work if the month of February, I believe, in my eyes, closes below this 1.2 trillion. If that closes below, pattern done, none, void, not interested anymore. But that's the key. And one interesting thing here is normally when you get these breakouts of these patterns, like this cup and handle, you want to look for a retest. Now, we did do that going back to the month of December. You can see we broke out in November, we pulled back in December, and then we formed January, which is kind of nowhere, and then February, we've been kind of down to retest again. If you're a trader, and I'm not a trader, I'm an investor longer term, but this is where you look to re-enter. You look to re-enter on pullbacks. You've had the confirmation of this, you've had the pullback. Another great chart to show you on this actually would be cybersecurity ETF. I know it's a completely different sector, but same pattern, cup, handle, okay? And if you zoom in to the weekly, because you can't really see it on this monthly, you see we broke out, we retested, and bang. It took a bit of time. Obviously, these are weekly candles. From the month we broke out, which was the 7th of October, I mean, we are on the 10th of February here, so it's quite a way down the line, but the pattern has shown true. So this is what we would like to be seeing when we're looking at this chart here regarding that cup and handle pattern.
That would be nice. What happens if we close below 1.2 trillion?
The cup and handle pattern null and void.
Okay.
I don't think if that closes below 1.2 trillion, I wouldn't even be looking at it. It's not something that I'd be looking at. But if we do close below that, I believe that opens up a retest of this $1 trillion mark where you can see we bounced last time. And if that doesn't hold, we could definitely come into around that 775 to call it 875 billion range. So that would be, just for reference, and we draw the little box, that would be coming into around there. So if this $1 trillion mark didn't hold, it's a nice psychological level, they normally do, we can definitely come down here. Now, that would be the ultimate, everyone thinks the top's in. Not to say that sentiment on X is crap as it is, because it is. But any questions on it?
Interestingly enough, talking about sentiment, was I joined up to Farcaster finally today. Farcaster is like a Web3 based rival to Twitter. And the sentiment there, I wouldn't say it's great, but
Was it better than X?
so much better. And
Yeah.
I genuinely think X is just a sad place. It's just an angry place because it doesn't seem like the sentiment in anything that's on X is anything other than like toxic and horrible.
I mean, ultimately, it really does depend who you follow, doesn't it? At the end
Yeah.
of the day, if you're following a lot of shorter term traders, ones that maybe haven't spent years in the markets that are unexperienced, they will be very vocal about how they feel about all of this, which is why you probably see shit sentiment. Oh, I've just blown up. Like, I saw a video the other day of a trader that's done really well, talking to some guy or that was part of his group. He goes, "I've just blown up on a meme." He's going, "Right, well, you need to get your head out. You need to get out the trenches, go get a 9 to 5, and now you want to be grafting 18 hours a week, or 18 hours a day. You want to be 18 hours. Whatever you've got to do, get your money back up. And then once you've got a decent amount, okay, well, you can try again." But that's not me. I'm not one to sit there in front of a screen and lump a bit of money on meme coins all day.
Yeah,
I am more than happy to go do my 9 to 5 and then come back to this in the evening,
and be
sort of thing.
sensible.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to get rich slow. I'm not interested in getting rich quick. But I
Yeah.
think it depends who you follow. And I follow a lot of macro, and I would say, well, people that have been in the space more than 5 years at a minimum.
Hmm.
And my Twitter's not bearish. I see them tweeting about Twitter being bearish, but
Uh,
my Twitter from a macro point of view and from what I'm viewing is this is a buy the dip here. Like, why is everyone
yeah,
stressing? And
yeah.
then it's when you talk to people, obviously like yourself, you're saying that it's a lot bearish on there. And I speak to my friends, and they go, "Christ, have you seen everyone on Twitter moaning and complaining about everything?" I'm
It's
like,
horrible.
"No, I haven't seen it."
Yeah, it's horrible, and I don't. I think my Twitter's broken anyway because I get a load of people who I don't follow, and I get a load of their tweets, and they're always, even if they're not crypto related, they're always just bearish on life in general. They're always
Yeah.
whinging about something or other. And the only thing worse I've noticed, like slightly going off topic, than worse than crypto Twitter is probably political Twitter, which is even more of a cesspit.
I don't even see any of
And
this on mine.
yeah, you're not missing anything, mate. You're not
I
missing anything.
literally don't see any of it because I
You're not
just
missing anything.
don't care.
So yeah, you're not missing anything. So yeah, I think regarding the altcoins and hopefully there
Well,
that
I've got
will,
a couple others I want to run through as
I
well. So
think
we'll
that one
jump
should
into that.
should work because we are Bitcoin dominance is
It
almost at
makes
all time
sense.
highs,
From
right?
a
So
technical level, it makes sense. From a sentiment level, it makes sense.
yeah,
We've already had people coming in saying, right, I mean, like I said, I think I said last week, I saw a message in a Telegram group that I'm in. Guys, I'm done. I've sold it all. I'm moving out into the middle of nowhere. Thank you for everything, blah, blah, blah. Not to say he's done really well. Like, kudos to him. He's made it effectively. Um,
allegedly,
yeah, but that to me is like, okay, that's PTSD from last cycle. Like,
yeah.
there's visual evidence of that there, and he's saying it's done. He'll go away. I'm sure he'll have the time of his life and does whatever. But if he ever turns his computer back on, I think he'll probably be kicking himself in the next 6 to 12 months.
Yeah.
Um, but I quickly want to go into these others. So this is one that Andreas Stenalarsson posted today. Now we've talked about the bond yields before. So this is a chart of trueflation versus bond yields, or more 10-year bond yields to be precise. Now, we can see the overlay here. Trueflation has fallen off a cliff, which would suggest bond yields would fall off a cliff.
What is trueflation?
So trueflation, let's get it up. So it's basically an inflation metric, effectively. You might have seen some of the big macro guys using this.
I
I
love
would
it.
have said in 2000 and was it 23, 24? They would have been using this. So it comes up with what it is and obviously what the actual is. So aggregated inflation is actually that in probably the US when obviously everyone's getting told this. Um, the UK is around 3.6. When we're not stupid, we know it's probably 30, if not higher.
Have we not gotten have we not got one for the
It
UK?
might be. I mean, I haven't. This is actually the first time I've used it because normally I just see people posting on it. Um, but yeah, they come out
Okay.
with the inflation data and it basically
Brilliant.
telling you what it is. So this is their chart on where they think American inflation is at the moment. Obviously, inflation is the price or the rate at which stuff is going up in value. So when we say inflation of 0.5%, everything's getting more expensive by 0.5% per year at that rate. So the moment, the UK is 3.65, the US is 2.11, Argentina is 2,537, which is why no one uses the Argentinian currency and they use Bitcoin and dollars and everything else
Yeah.
out there. But that is that chart. So we'll then go into the 10-year. So what could cause a 10-year to fall like this? And for people that don't know, the 10-year yield moves inversely to risk assets. So historically, we would see 10-year yield rise, which would mean Bitcoin would then fall, and vice versa. So it kind of works like that. So if we go to the 10-year yield chart, which is here, now, first of all, let's take a zoom in, because that chart we were looking at was probably this part here, something like that. Now, we can zoom in on this. What can we see here? Now, one of these patterns that we have looked at before, we can see a potential head and shoulders top. So this is your left shoulder, this is your head, this is your right shoulder. We have had the confirmed breakdown of this. Now this here, where we are, because we've bounced here, obviously come back to the neckline, this would be classed as a bearish retest on the daily. So what you'd be looking for this to do here is to fail and it continue to sell off. Now the target for that would bring the 10-year yield back to 4.2. So effectively, if you're holding money in the bank, you're getting paid 4.49% as of currently per year for that money in the bank. If that drops, people are then more inclined to go, actually, 4% is nothing. I can go to the S&P and earn an average of, say, 10% a year is double. So they'll go do that. They'll come out onto the risk curve.
Yeah.
So a 10-year yield coming down is very good for risk assets and actually acts as what they call as a tailwind. Headwind is obviously going against it, not good. Tailwind, good for it because it's helping it. Now, on a bigger time frame, that was the daily, so bearish on the daily here. On the weekly, the other hand, we had this downsloping channel in 10-year yields, which we have broke to the upside. Now, as you can see, if I zoom in there, we didn't have a retest in any of the 2, 3, 4 weeks after that breakout. We just had it again on a bigger time frame, so daily being bearish. This weekly outlook is bullish because you've had your retest and you've had a bounce. You would look for that to be continuation. Okay, so weekly's telling us one thing, daily's telling another. If you go out to the 1 month, you can see that a bit better. You can see that channel, but if you keep zooming out, you can see. I thought we were in some sort of macro head and shoulders bottom here. Now, if that's the play out, bond yields are going to go to wherever that is, 73%, which I don't see happening. I don't think it's possible.
No.
But that's just me being me with the charts. But we are in this longer standing channel, a bit like when we looked at, I think it was the dollar last week. That was in one of those big long channels. We are in a channel. Now, obviously, we still have a 10-20 cross, which is, you see these red lines here turn to green. That is still in bullish momentum, so there's no signs of that fading as of yet. If we were to get to a stage like this, where it starts crossing red, that's a good sign, effectively, for us in crypto land. So at the moment, there's no signs of it, but they are starting to tighten, which could suggest some weakness. So the weekly as well, you have these 10-20 crosses. Again, nothing to worry about here. It's the daily that is giving us this hopium in crypto world at the minute, because you have had a confirmed bearish 10-20 cross here. But what's to say that it's not like this one over here back in December? It's a short sell-off before they rip again.
Yeah.
So if this truflation chart is to play out where it mirrors bonds, we should see a sell-off in bonds. That is very good, but the bonds chart itself is telling you multiple things on different time frames. So this is why I look at everything on a daily, weekly, monthly. I don't look at 4 hours, 5 minute, 10-minute, stuff like that. So there are those. The other ones I want to run into quickly are the ARK Invest Big Ideas report. So this come out, I believe, last week, and I would like to share these charts. So this is 37. An increasing number of public companies now hold Bitcoin. So you may be seeing the news on Twitter and various other things. There's more than this that's on my chart. These are just the top 10 public companies. And you can see here, obviously, MicroStrategy sitting at the top. Interesting, there's MicroStrategy at the top. As I say, I don't have Tesla. I've only actually just seen it. Marathon Digital, Riot, these are Bitcoin miners. So we all know what Tesla is, Coinbase. CleanSpark is another Bitcoin miner. Block is a payments thing, and Bitcoin Group SE. I don't actually know what it is, and I don't even know what this one is. But there's an increasing number of companies putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet, and to me, bullish, good. That is TradFi money coming into our little bubble world. So it's great for us.
Most of those are Bitcoin companies, though, aren't they? They're like
Yes, I
miners,
believe
it looks
so.
like.
So second one was this. So this is on stablecoins, one of the fastest growing segments in digital assets. Stablecoins overtook MasterCard and Visa in transaction value in 2024. Despite a 2-year bear market and a 70% decline in market cap, stablecoin growth has remained uninterrupted in 2024. The annualized transaction value of stablecoins hits 15.6 trillion, roughly 120% and 200% of that of Visa and MasterCard, respectively. So you can see in the charts here that last year, 2024, was the first time over the last 5 or so years that stablecoins have surpassed Visa. Now, Visa, for everyone that knows, if you've got a bank card, it will say on it either MasterCard or Visa, effectively. They are the ones that push and pull money all around the world from different bank accounts and blah, blah, blah. So another very good reason why TradFi, and we discussed this earlier, Circle, could potentially be going IPO because they are now bigger than MasterCard and Visa, not combined as of yet when it comes to payment processes, but they're bigger than Visa. And what is the market cap of Visa, actually? That'd be quite interesting.
I'll tell you what I will say on the back of that. The problem I have with those sorts of I don't know, proclamations from ARC is that with crypto we don't know what is a transaction and what isn't. We don't know when I'm transacting with myself or when I'm
Yeah,
washing money or moving it between my bank on one side or my bank on the other side, which might be a DeFi position on one side and a DeFi position with another. We don't know. We don't know what's happening. So
yeah, it's hard to pinpoint what they're classing as a transaction.
right. And that's the reason why I say that fees are a much better way of looking at how much actual usage is happening within a certain sector of crypto. Because
Yeah.
if you're not if you're not paying to do the transaction,
I mean, to be fair,
there's
that
a big
chart
difference
is
there.
transaction value. So the value of the stable coins that have been processed have been more than Visa.
Yeah, but that's fine. That's because I wouldn't use Visa to move money from my left pocket to my right pocket.
Yeah,
But if I move money from my left pocket to my right pocket or from one wallet to another wallet on crypto, everybody will look at it and say, "Well, there's a transaction," but
yeah.
it's not. So I think sometimes with these sorts of things, I don't think they do it to be deliberately misleading, but they have to take fees into account, and if they haven't, then we have to take it with a pinch of salt. And even if you do take fees into account, I have to pay fees to move money from my right pocket to my left pocket. So until we know for certain that a certain person owns a certain wallet and they've moved it to another wallet which another person owns, I don't think it can be classed as the same. I think we're comparing
Yeah, it'd
apples to
be
oranges.
interesting to see if they could pinpoint what they class as a transaction. I'm sure there might even be a thing in the document. I didn't see it,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
who
It'll
knows?
be, it'll be worth looking at. It'll definitely be worth
Yeah.
looking at.
Um, the second or third chart, third, I think.
Third.
Smart contract powered exchanges are 5 to 10 times more efficient than their centralized counterparts. So this goes into what we've been talking about with Base, iThought, and Solana. Um, the key ones being Aerodrome, Radium, um, Orca, stuff like that. Uh,
Uniswap.
yeah, and Uniswap of 4 ETH. So the ones to be watching, not financial advice, might be some of these highlighted assets. on the screen that you see currently. So have a look in DeFi, see what you may think is maybe undervalued. And you can see here the chart. The monthly spot volume is a hell of a lot better on the likes of Radium, PancakeSwap, Aerodrome, Uni, and Orca than it is on any of these centralized exchanges here.
Right. Well, that's because obviously the centralized exchanges have got much more staff because they're going to need staff
Yes.
whereas the decentralized exchanges, they have cult labor. So they've got people like me and you talking about them and doing their promotion for them,
But
as opposed to Binance
to
needing.
be fair, I actually think they're easier.
Easier to
Once
use.
you use it once, it's pretty self-explanatory, and you feel yourself not going back to a centralized exchange. Like, I can't remember the
Absolutely.
last time I used Crypto.com or Coinbase or Binance.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's
I actually
literally no
don't
reason
use
to.
them anymore.
No. I haven't used I use one. No, I haven't used a centralized exchange for ages, and there's no reason to.
I'll tell you, the only one I used was Revolut, right? And I only used that in panic when I was catching knives on that fall last, what was it, 2 weeks ago now?
Yeah,
That's the first one I've used in months.
yeah,
And a lot of
yeah,
people, obviously, like when you're teaching people how to do it, they're like, "Whoa, what the hell is this?" It's like sensory overload. But once they use it once, I speak to them maybe a month down the line. Oh yeah, I was swapping some stuff on Aerodrome the other week. I was on Radium, I was on Jupiter. I'm like, there you go.
Also, these dexes, they absolutely democratize access.
Mm.
Everyone can go and provide liquidity for
Yeah,
other people to trade in and out and claim some of the fees.
I
With
mean,
Binance are keeping all the fees. Bybit are
yeah,
keeping all the fees.
yeah. I also think the UI UX on some of them is better than the other. Like Jupiter, I think is the best UI UX wise.
Yeah,
Radium is horrible.
it's
Um,
very slow, Radium.
it,
Considering it's the best exchange on Solana, by by value, like the amount it's got the most liquidity on
yeah,
Solana. I'm surprised that somebody hasn't just given them a couple of million and said, "Look, sort your lives out, boys,"
yeah,
because it's a shock.
100%. Uh, Final chart. Sol and Base are leading the way in developer adoption and mindshare. Now, I learned this from a guy called Michael from Blockchain Sensei. So when I very first started crypto, and this was, or started going down the rabbit hole of it, probably 2 to 3 years ago now, if not longer. Um, he said, "You follow the developers, you follow the money," and that has always stuck with me. So whenever I'm looking at a project, the first thing I want to know about is they actually got developers, and if they've got developers, are more coming, and if they're staying and whatnot. So this here gives you all you need to know. We say ETH's been dead. ETH remains the top in the number of crypto developers. The Ethereum rate, well, it's obviously would there, but still second in the net new crypto developers in 2024. I'm sure if you were to throw up chart of 2023, it's probably closer than what it is now because obviously Sol has done very well. Um, but these ones like Arbitrum, we were speaking about it earlier, are dwindling.
Well, okay. So what we're saying here is that Ethereum has got a massive head start over
Yeah.
Solana, which is I guess 3 or 4
When did
years.
Solana come out?
Solana came out in the 2020
Yes,
cycle.
ETH was out, what, 2016 was
Yeah,
it?
Eve came out before the
Yeah.
2017 cycle. So
Had a 4 year head start, effectively.
yeah, Eve had a head start. Plus, also you've got to remember that when Eve came out, it had no competition. So
No.
you were either a smart contract developer, which was like, I guess what we would affectionately know as like a script kiddie. So you were somebody who wasn't really a real hardcore developer, or you was a blockchain developer and you used like C++ and your job
Yeah.
was hard. So Ethereum was the first kind of like dip your toe in and kind of easy to go from zero to an engineer type opportunity in crypto.
Mm.
Ethereum was first. So they had a big head start. What was interesting is how Solana really have gone after developers.
Yeah.
So Ethereum kind of opened the door and said, like, we're building something, guys. Here's all the documentation. Come and use it. Solana went and started knocking on doors. They went to India and they made a whole heap of noise and they were like, "Look, guys, we want you to do this," which is, I think, a much better approach, and
Yeah.
it is really paying
I
off
mean,
now.
to be fair, when I've actually done like in real life networking with people, and some of these guys have been to the Solana hackathons and the Ethereum ones, they've said that the Solana hackathons are 10 times better, hands down. Like
Yeah,
they've been to one ETH one and then never been back, but they've been to every Solana hackathon going.
yeah, that makes
So
sense. And I think that's just purely because ETH didn't. You know, how can I put this? Like particularly handsome or particularly pretty people, they tend to not develop their personality as quickly because
yeah,
they were the
yeah,
pretty people. So, and that was Ethereum. Ethereum was the darling. So they never had to really try to get
mm.
attention
Just
from
assumed
the.
it'd all follow.
They just assumed it would all follow,
Yeah,
and it's good to see. The real scary thing on this list is how far down or how few developers Sui have.
yes.
That's a little bit worrying. You would like to think
But then
that
again, I mean, you've also got to remember they only came out. I mean, when was that? It wasn't too long ago.
no,
So, well, Binance Chart's not going to have it all, is it? Well, it might be. I mean,
no,
if
but
they
we
came
know
out
we
in
know
May,
no Sui not May last year. Sui came
May
out.
23.
Yeah, Sui came out. No, Sui came out before that. Sui's come out a while ago, but it may not have. We've known about Sui and we've known how it was going to work. And more importantly, the Sui guys will know that there is a clear game plan on how
Yeah,
to get developers, and you need to get developers. So they should have seen Solana's success. Remember, Sui are probably one of the very few projects that have got financial backing that can
yeah.
rival Solana.
I mean, I
They
think
should have
another
seen
one could be argued as Aptos, but it's definitely not as much in the public eye at the minute.
no.
I know Arthur Hayes is very big on Aptos.
Yeah, but that's good for him. But if
Yeah,
I would take 7,000 Solana developers over one Arthur Hayes every
oh
day of
yeah,
the week.
obviously, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, Sui and
Would it,
Aptos.
would it be fair to add? So I know obviously they've got base here and ETH. Would it be fair to add all of base, ETH, Polygon, Arbitrum, all of those ones together? Ultimately, the developers or the amount of developers probably still the biggest on the Ethereum network.
Yeah. So there is no difference between developing on Base and developing on Ethereum.
Yeah,
I'm looking
so
at the. I'm looking at what's that next to Ethereum? Does that say other?
yeah, that says other. So
I
I'm not
don't
sure
know.
what that is. I'm assuming that might be the likes of BNB, Avalanche, stuff like that,
Yeah, maybe,
and
maybe.
Dot stuff like that. I'm assuming that's
Well,
what that is.
Dot's on there. I can see Dot. Polygon's there, which is another EVM. Arbitrum's there, which is another EVM. Starknet, I'm not sure. I don't think that is an
Oh yeah,
EVM.
Polkadot. Sorry, I didn't see that.
Yeah, Dot's there. Bitcoin's even there. I wonder what that other is because that's a big chunk.
Quite a big chunk, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a big chunk.
Yeah,
Interesting. But I think this is a very, very, very important and interesting graph because
yeah,
the ones that do secure the developers, they are the chains that do the
yeah.
best.
I mean, all I seem to see on Twitter is developers talking about base or base talking about developers, and I think that's always a good sign
Yeah, 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 yeah.
by looking at top base projects.
That's the reason why, another reason why I said about Arbitrum earlier on today and their shocking decision. They haven't made it yet. The DAO's still being voted on,
Yeah,
but it's shocking that they're thinking about removing their grants because
mm.
if there's no grant on a chain, and I'm thinking about releasing on that chain, and there's no grant to
You're not
even
even going to
apply for,
reply, are you?
I'm not even going to bother. I'm going to be like, all right, you know what? You don't want me here. I'll
I'll go
take
somewhere
myself.
where I'm
I'll go,
valued.
yeah, I'll go to another party then because
Mm.
Solana have been screaming at me to come to theirs, and Sui is screaming at me to come to theirs, and all these people are screaming at me to come, and You lot are doing. You don't want to pay. All right, well, fine.
Yeah, 100%.
So
Right, should we go into predictions?
let's do it.
So last week we said we were going to put them in the comments. We didn't end up doing it. So they are fresh predictions. We weren't right or wrong from last week. So what are we doing first? Bitcoin?
We'll do Bitcoin. Should we do Solana instead of Ethereum?
Yeah, we can do Sol.
BTC. Let's do BTC Sol. Should we do an NFT floor price? Should we do floor price of an NFT?
I'm not sure if that would work over a week.
Too short term.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I still don't think. No, I don't know.
No. All right. Let's not. Let's chuck that one in. Let's chuck that
Uh,
idea in the bin. It's only because we spoke about them.
so what do you say? Bitcoin, ETH? What do you say, Sol?
Bitcoin Sol
Yeah,
for the big ones. We'll do a meme coin.
yeah. Which one do you
Should we-
fancy?
I fancy Popcat.
Yeah.
Fancy Popcat. Popcat's having a terrible time, and
Do you know what? It's done all right over the last couple of days. It's performed better than I thought it would.
so I watch Martin Shkreli, who's like a I don't know. He's like Venom without the eating heads, but with everything
Okay.
else. He's a character, and he was saying that he hates Popcat. He's saying it's all going to zero. All the memes are going to zero. But I think he's going to get liquidated because
Probably.
because I don't think memes go to zero. And
No, they don't. There's no way.
like I think when they get to a certain level, they don't go to zero.
Yeah.
But he did say some interesting things about them just bleeding, then get momentum and then bleed. So
I'm going to go with Miggles for my meme.
okay,
Then I say we do one DeFi pick whilst we're just on the subject. Which DeFi chain would you like to do?
shall we do Binance and do Pancake?
Yeah, we
Pancake.
can do Pancake. Do Cake. Right. What are you saying? Should we go backwards? Let's go back to front this time. Do Cake first.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
What are you saying for Cake? So we are, okay, not on the bear market lows, but we're not far off. What do you reckon for Cake?
I was looking at it today thinking this is a beautiful time to put in a long.
I
I
mean,
think this is
so
going up.
not spot. You're not looking to hold spot.
Well, or buy it as spot. Buy it as spot, but take some risk that it's not going to go down any more than this.
I mean, we did wick right into that bear market bottom, which is, I mean, it's not a bad, I mean, it's not a great sign because obviously we're quite way down the line in the bull market. We'd like to see it a bit higher than where it is now, and this would be cast as a lower high, but we have had a higher low at the bottom here.
I think if we do have a sharp turn, which we definitely could have, and we do get all those liquidations out of all the people that are short in Ethereum, like lemons to their slaughter, I would say PancakeSwap will be one of the DeFi protocols that really benefits from it. It's
Okay.
the biggest exchange on one of the biggest chains.
Yeah. I mean, BNB, I was actually looking at BNB on the monthly earlier, I think yesterday. Looking really good.
It's strong. It's always strong, and it caters to an entire portion of the world that I don't think Coinbase
Does.
will be able to get a foothold in. Yeah, Coinbase will be very strong in America. I think Binance will be very strong elsewhere, especially if Trump carries on with this craziness that he's doing.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to go $2.
I was going to say 210.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. I like that. Right. Next one, Miggles. My favourite.
Don't
No,
fade Mr. Miggles.
no, don't fade it. Here is the up-to-date price chart. This is the 4 hour. I'll stick it on a daily. there we go. Next Monday, I can see us around, I'm going to say 0.085.
There's so many lines on this chart. I know you've analysed the heck out of it. There's no way you're getting
Let me
this
walk
wrong.
you through the lines very quickly. Right. We have this bigger potential rising wedge pattern happening, which is typically a bearish pattern. We have within that this ball flag or triangle, whatever you want to call it, ascending wedge here. We have some resistance, or what would be horizontal resistance up here. And then other than that, a mid-range resistance here around 0.08. So it may look confusing, but we're there. And this here is a falling wedge, which is typically a bullish pattern. And it's currently broken out of that. The target for that falling wedge would be the 13 cents area.
Yeah, what do you want? You want the bullish retest first, do you?
Well, I mean, we're on support. I'm happy with it here. I mean, you can kind of see we had the breakout retest there. So those two candles.
Yeah.
And we've seen a decent reaction so far. We're being bought up off the lows. So, yeah, I think that we could hit that target. Do we hit it by next week? I don't know. That's one.
Okay. What we going for?
0.085. So where my cursor is currently, very conservative.
Yeah, I was going to go for 0.1, and I can see there's a line there as well.
Yeah, resistance zone. I like it. You going 0.1?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I
Yeah.
probably should have gone more bullish, but oh well. Popcat. Where are we? Here we go. I'll tell you why I liked this one. Because you know we talked about this falling wedge
Yes.
ages ago, and we were saying that Popcat could go all the way down. We
Yeah.
pretty much tagged that line with that area of interest. Obviously, we fell short of the first one, but was right by that second. But that's what you've seen, a nice reaction there from Popcat.
Bobcat recently got added to Coinbase.
Yes, I saw that as well. I saw that. I think you could see Popcat. I'm going to stay conservative. 40 cents by next week.
So another 20%, 25% up from where it is now.
It's not bad. It is, around 35%.
Oh, I don't know. I'm going to go bearish.
Bearish.
I'm going to go bearish.
Yeah. Where are we going?
16.
16, you think we're coming into the bid box?
All the way down. No, all right. Do you know what? Let me say 20. Let me say 20. Because don't have to go all the way down in 1 week, does it?
No.
I'll say 20.
Right, then we had ETH and Sol. Sol and Bitcoin.
Sol and BTC, yeah.
Here is the mighty Solana. Where are we going? What are we doing?
Got to be bullish, haven't we?
I would be bullish here.
Got to be bullish. 220?
240?
220.
Okay, I've gone a bit more bullish than you. 240 and 220. BTC, where are we going?
Oh, back in that range, aren't we? I don't think I don't think BTC is a cryptocurrency anymore. It's not. It's now the property of the US government. I'm going to go 100k.
100k.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I am going to go a bit above you. I'm going to say 103.
Yeah.
So 103 and 100k. Right, lovely stuff. So this has been episode 14 of Crypto Waffle. Hopefully you've learned something new this evening. I'm looking forward to getting back here next week.
Yes, thank you
Hopefully, we
very
get
much.
some of those early bingo cards ticked off.
Well, which one? Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make graphics around those bingo cards, and we'll make them into NFTs so that
Love it.
we can forever be immortalized.
And every time we ticked one off, we'll have to create a new NFT.
Yes, we will actually. That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
Maybe just a graphic.
It'll be fine. We'll do one each time. It's only costs 5 cents or something to make an NFT, so
Oh,
it'll be
okay.
fine. It's
Yeah, I
cool.
don't know how to do that, so that's all on you, I'm afraid.
I've got a tool. There's a tool, mint.bidify.cloud. You can go there and you can make your own NFTs, and
Send it
all it's
over and
easy.
I'll have a play.
Yeah, piece of cake.
Right.
All right. See you
Take
next
care,
week.
everybody. We'll see you soon.
Oh yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe and all that stuff because we never say
Yeah,
that, and we need to
yeah,
start
we do
saying
never
that.
say that. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share.
Share, yeah.
Get on an email to friends if you want.
Exactly. Like, tell your friends to come and watch us and learn instead of doom scrolling on Twitter. Come and speak to the guys who have only had, well, one of us has only had like an 80% drawdown in the last few weeks.
Yeah, scary stuff.
See
But
you next week.
until next time, adios.